Okay, so I think we're live now.
Okay. I still
We'll
see the
see
two.
in a second.
Okay.
If anyone can see us. All right, we are live. Okay, there it goes.
Okay.
All the
There it goes.
notifications are up. Look at us go. We've messed
Woohoo.
this up I don't know how many times. Okay. Now I got it. Well, I have to figure out some more little tricks. All right, we're good.
All
Okay.
right.
So welcome in everyone. Um, we're just getting started again. This is our third one, and of course, we're all finding new things every time. So yeah, that's it. We had some people give great comments the other day, so we really appreciate that. Let me just check those out real quick. So one of them was actually really interesting. Um, most are saying thank you, they loved it, all those kinds of things, and we do really appreciate that. That lets us know that we're reaching people and talking to them. We love it when you also talk in the chat too. So I see Kimberly Rogers has already chimed in. Thank you, Kimberly. Nice to see you here. All right. So we did have one comment, though it was really a good one, actually. The BOI, or beneficial ownership information. Very happy I listened to this today. I've never heard of it until now. And it kind of seems scary. Why hasn't this been broadcast everywhere on media? Um, I've heard it only from other bookkeepers and accountants. Deb, what have you heard it?
Well, that's where I heard it. I
Yeah.
mean, so I think a lot of times, we forget our world is 100% accounting, but most other people, their world is not 100% accounting. So they don't really, it's not a glamorous type of thing. So I think the secret to me is you have to subscribe to a lot of newsletters, posts, that keep you informed of all this stuff going out. I know Hal, my husband, he does all the income tax. He doesn't even subscribe. I keep him informed of what's going on. Did you know this is going on? That's going on. I mean, there are IRS publications, newsletters you can subscribe to, all of that kind of stuff. So I try to keep on top of that, but that's where I heard it. And I know a lot of places now are doing webinars on how to do it. I know I did hear too about it from CorpNet. CorpNet will actually file the BOI for you if you want, or they will also do it for your client. Of course, they charge a fee to do it. Clients can absolutely do it for free, but if you want to offer it as a service, you can use CorpNet. But I learned it through them, and I don't know, I just stay on top of the accounting news in the world, so I know what's coming up. And it's challenging because it just seems to come out as so fast. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah, there's always stuff changing. If you guarantee one thing, it's going to change. And it might even change within the year and the deadlines and all that kind of stuff, depending on what happens in the world. I mean, Deb's living in the world where their deadlines got pushed out to February, I think.
Yes, which was kind of good and
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
but because usually this time of year, all extensions for corporates and partnerships, their final tax return for 23 was due today.
Hmm.
So, and this is the time of year when all the people that don't keep good records call. They don't want to do, it's not, getting your tax return done is not a task most people enjoy. So it's always the heartaches. How come these are heartache clients? So you're trying to get the information, and now that it's been pushed out, we don't have to push them as much. But of course, we didn't tell them that, because then what happened? Oh, I mean, I have till February. They'll again wait till February.
Of course.
So I didn't tell them that they had to get it into me today, because I have 3 I'm still working on. In fact, the other day I said, this is a new client, and I need last year's tax return. I got access to his QBO file. And my process is always to look at the 22 books balance sheet on 12/31 of 22, match the tax return, and then move forward with 22 tax return, move forward with 23 books, and then we can prepare the tax return. So he didn't even get me the 22 tax return till Friday. And then of course, then Hal gets the tax return and he loads it into his system. We use Intuit Pro Series. So he loads in the 22 tax return, which then he can push forward for 23 once we give him the information. I'm watching TV and he screams at me, "This tax return was done all wrong. The numbers don't add up." And of course, then he goes, "Come here and let me show you." He goes, "Look, this number doesn't foot on the depreciation." I just think, well, I didn't do it. I mean, and this was a big CPA firm in New York that did it, and they came to us because the client did not like this CPA firm. But anyway, but once they file the tax return, it's done. I mean, so that's where we have to begin. Of course, there was no depreciation schedule, an asset register that was attached, and we now have to call them up and get that. And oh, geez. But anyway, yeah. So fortunately, I didn't have to get this thing done today. So okay, you got an extra week. I'm not telling him that he has till February, or I'll probably never get it. Because then he has 2 to do.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now you're behind it twice. You're 2 years behind. So, what?
Yeah, it's all fun. I got one this morning. They were missing the first 6 months of 2023. And like, I have to get this done today because my taxes are due today. So I'm
this
like,
was on your call? Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Here's how you can here's where you need to go get the numbers.
Right.
And here's how you can upload them if you're lucky to get them on the CVS from the bank or CSV from the bank. Here's how you can upload them. Then you got to then categorize them, get them in, reconcile,
right,
and then get them to your accountant. Have fun.
Right. And it's a real challenge because tax preparers, they're hired to do the tax return. They're not hired to do the books to get to the tax return. So a lot of times people will come in here and, they want their books done and the tax return. And I tell them, well, for me to do your books for the year, my minimum charge for the year is $6,000. What? And I'm like, that's a gift. I mean, you're looking at 12 months. I mean, but I call it down and dirty, meaning it's just basically what's flowing in and out of the bank. That's the easy way to think about it. But they just want to pay for a tax return. I said, well, then I'm not doing your books. You prepare the P&L and the balance sheet, and then Hal can take the tax return. Now, a lot of people then question, I see on Facebook a lot of times people will say, I'm not doing the tax return unless I can do the books. Okay, that's certainly your choice. Mm-hmm. But, H&R Block doesn't do the books.
Absolutely not. I don't think they even know what bookkeeping is over there.
No, TurboTax doesn't do it. So, I mean, is it wrong to do that? Perfect books are expensive. So if it looks good enough, like if Hal pulls the P&L balance sheet pulls in, the beautiful thing about accounting is that it all makes sense if you look at it. Like that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. How, I always say, how can you afford a house on the river if you only made $10,000? So he'll question them. And, those like, well, I have a bank account. If I get paid cash, I don't report it. If I don't only report, this is another famous one. I only report income if I get a 1099 for it. And Hal will go, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's not the way.
So he will question him on it. But, he's not, somebody on another Facebook question was, they asked the client for the detail of the meals and entertainment category. Mm-hmm. And the client was not responding. Well, meals and entertainment, I mean, they just, that's a place where people they cheat. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, my feeling is, all right, if like I have a pool guy, he goes out to eat all the time. Well, there is no reason that he just uses his business cards, his business expense to pay for his meals. That is not a business tax deduction. So what I do is I have it under other expense because he can then see, why am I not making any money? Well, look at that meals and groceries line, restaurants and groceries, I call it. That's where your money's going. Oh, because, and I said, it's not a tax deduction to you. I mean, you're free to spend your money how you want. So then when I do the taxes, when I give the P&L and the balance sheet to Hal, that line goes into shareholder distribution. So Hal doesn't see it.
So a couple other things that have come up that I noticed recently that have caused
Yeah.
a little bit of like riff, or I wouldn't say controversy. People are
Yeah.
annoyed by it. Is that now QuickBooks is going to be basically escrowing, I guess we could call it, impounding the payroll taxes on a payroll basis, which I think
Yes.
is absolutely the right thing to do.
Fabulous.
Doesn't everybody else do this? And why didn't they do it before? It's about time.
Right.
And that is coming up. Like I see messages being posted. I get people asking about it. I'm like, hey, it's not your money. It's
Right.
you have to pay the government. Oh, it's messing up our cash flow, but you owe it. So they're gonna pull it. Yes, they are probably gonna put in an account that earns interest, but really that's not the main goal. The main goal is to try to stay regulatory and compliant and make sure the right things are done. And I'm sure that they have a lot of pain on their side when it goes to insufficient funds when they're going to pay the taxes. And
Yeah, well, it's a real
yeah,
challenge. I mean, if you're doing it where every quarter or once a month, you have to tell the client, by the way, and see, this is the problem with payroll. I think clients don't realize that if you pay somebody $100 a week and you withhold $20 in tax, you're only paying them $80. Well, if that $20 accumulates for the month, let's say it's a 5-week month, the taxes are due are that $20 per pay period plus your matching FICA Medicare. So, it might be $25. That's $125. So they think the tax expense is $125. It is not. It is, it's too expensive to hire employees because of all the taxes I have to pay. No, you're only matching the FUTA, federal unemployment, which maxes out at $42 a year per employee, and SUTA. Now in Florida, if you have a low rate, it's $7 a year per employee, $7. So if you have 10 employees, it's $70. And then your FICA Medicare match, which is 0.0765. So, but they see a big chunk of change come out on the 15th and then once again on the quarter. So they think having employees is expensive because they're paying them the net. They don't realize they're holding that money to remit to the IRS. Now, the other thing, that money is called trust fund money. So if they don't remit it, they will go to jail.
yes, absolutely.
I had a neighbor in Pennsylvania who went to jail because he spent trust fund money. Now, IRS will give them, we had another client. I mean, he would spend the money. And we had a meeting with the IRS agent, and the IRS, I'll never forget, the IRS agent says, I said, you hear about how many lives a cat has? And he goes, well, yeah, they have 9 lives. He goes, you're on your 9th life. This is it. If you don't start complying with this, we will now, they are, because that's not your money. They get serious when it comes to payroll tax. So anyway, impounding it after every payroll, I think it does help cash flow in that now, because it's not yours, you can see the full burden of payroll, what it does cost you to have it. You don't think you're paying a big tax bill. I mean, I know I had one client, $5,000 on the 15th. He goes, look, well, I pay a lot in taxes. No, but you paid less in payroll, and now whatever you held in the bank, you're now remitting it. I mean, you should put it aside or something. They don't understand that. So I have no problem I think it's a great idea. And every other payroll company does that.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked when I saw it came out because I don't use QuickBooks Payroll, and I'm like, oh, they don't do that? Oh my goodness! I was like, wow.
Now you can
Yeah.
you can request it,
Yeah.
but you can also say I want to pay up. You could say I want to pay it monthly, but now they're not even giving you. It's after every payroll.
Well,
Plus, as the bookkeeper doing their books, you're not going to have to watch their cash flow on the 15th to make sure the money's in there to have it paid. It just comes out. I mean, that's why if If I do your payroll, we pay it at every pay period, whether you're required to or not. And when you are a new employer, the default is you pay the taxes monthly. If you were doing them by hand, you can remit them monthly. If you get enough, I think it's 50,000 a year, or maybe 50,000. If your liability is over 50,000, then they require you to go to a Schedule B and after every pay period. But you don't have to wait till you get that letter. You can just do it. Now, if you are a month bi-week, I forget the name of it, but you pay it after every payroll and you don't pay it monthly, then you're fined.
Yes.
I had a client one time. He comes to me. It was a restaurant. When he signed up for payroll, he signed up as if he had no payroll for the year. And he said he was a 944 filer, which means his liability would only be for the entire year $1,000 or less. So he only had to file an annual payroll tax return. So I come in and go, no, you have to pay taxes monthly. No, but I signed up to pay it annually. I know what you signed up for, but the rule is if you hit a $2,500 you owe, you got to remit it. Well, he didn't. He thought he was one of these. He was actually a professor at Stetson University here. And I go, no, that's not how it works. So he would then, at least I got him to pay the entire amount every quarter. And his liability was about $4,000 a month. So when he would pay, okay, think about month 1, month 2, month 3, he'd pay the whole thing in the 15th of month 4. Well, months 1 and month 2 are now late. So at the end of the year, he got a huge fine. And he calls me up and he wanted me to pay it. I go, what are you, nuts? I said, no, I told you every single month, this is your liability. And you told me you weren't going to pay because you were a 944 filer. And he goes, well, you never told me. I go, au contraire.
Yes.
Why would I not tell you and every other? He was a jerk. So I let him go. Actually, I thought he, but anyway, so
it doesn't matter what filer you are. You still have to pay it on time.
You have to pay timely. You weren't timely and you're paying it, so, but so anyway, now that it's and I think they remit it to the IRS right away. They don't hold it. Mm-hmm. They send it in, just like if you were a regular month, if I did your payroll and I did it, I would remit it I don't hold the money.
Yeah.
I send it to the IRS.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing.
I think it is a very good thing. It's about time.
It's about time. It's about time. Yeah. Put your big boy pants on.
Yeah.
But if you want to, it's just like with sales tax.
I wish they would do a sales tax too. They're getting there with sales tax. It's still, sales tax is just so much harder.
Well, I do restaurants, and there's a product called Davo. Avalera owns them, and they will actually impound your taxes daily if you have the right POS. So that's great. I mean,
that's a really good thing, but nobody else does that. I don't think
nobody else does it.
No,
and you have to have the right POS.
Yeah.
So so of course we do a lot of so the POSs that aren't connected to Davo. We tell them, okay, taxes are coming out. We pay it on the 20th because that's when we have to remit it by the 19th. We remit it usually the first 2 days of the month. Withdraw the money on the 20th. So I said, okay, here's your sales tax return. Make sure you have $20,000 to pay that tax return on the 20th because you're not going to pay it. So I haven't had a couple times they bounced them. Boy, then that's a nightmare.
Oh my gosh, another problem. But yeah, payroll. So anyway, payroll's other people's money. Pay it, or go to jail. That's the one thing that you.
Yeah, pay it or go to. It's it's part of running a business. If you're paying your bills through payroll taxes that you're not remitting or sales tax you're not remitting, there's a problem with your business. Mm-hmm. You need to look at other things. You can't run it on not remitting your tax. Just like if you had a regular job and they didn't withhold any money, like a 1099 contractor or something like that, where, you work for yourself, like us, we work for ourselves. Mm-hmm. We put aside money. So when that tax bill comes in, which by the way, they were due, the estimated tax payment was due today. We made, here's a little trick. You can charge your payroll, income, your ES payment. So Hal has a credit card that gives 2% cash back. The IRS charges 1.85% to pay with a credit card. So he charges the tax bill on this credit card, and the credit card, let's just, to keep round numbers, we're charged $1,000, for example, but the IRS will give us back, 2%, 1%, and we make money on paying our tax. Then what he does, he has 30 days to pay the credit card bill. That money then sits in a savings account, and savings account we have one that's paying 5%. So that money sits in that savings account, earning money until he pays the credit card before it's due. And then he goes and finds credit cards that if you spend X amount of dollars, you'll get a bonus. And he gets these offers all the time. And he just got one. If we spend, I forget how much it is, we'll get $200 back. So he puts it on that card. So not only does he make money on the 2%, he makes interest money on that. He hasn't paid the credit card bill. And he puts it on a credit card that gives him a bonus if he spends so much. And then once he got the bonus, he cancels the credit card.
So there you go. Isn't that a wonderful hack?
How to make money paying your income tax. Of course, he hates owing money. So every day he'll come to, I see that bill. I see that bill. And on the credit card bill, I see that bill. And I say, okay, and I have to tell him, okay, you're earning $50 every day you don't pay it. Okay.
So we got some activity going on in the
great.
chat right now. So Teresa has chimed in. We reminded her, apparently, that she needs to pay her quarterly, so she's taking care of that right now.
Yeah,
so
go charge it on your credit card. It gives you a cashback bonus.
Yeah. Beth Ann has chimed in with there's a Reddit post about the QuickBooks payroll. I don't go on Reddit that much, but I might go check that out. Let's see. Kimberly Rogers has joined us. Yep, I'm glad we could remind Teresa. Oh, and Gail has also chimed in also, but she's Canadian, so this doesn't even apply to her at all.
Oh, shoot.
So they have it easier up there with this stuff.
We're talking U.S. payroll. Yeah, I know nothing about Canadian payroll. Other than my Canadian friends, they always comment on well, we're in Canada.
Yeah, that's all they ever say. We're in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
But I tell you what, all my Canadian friends, they're the nicest people. I've not met one mean Canadian.
I know. I really don't.
I think they're just, I would move to Canada if it wasn't so cold. Of course, here I'm sitting in Florida with my shawl on because the air conditioning's rolling.
Yeah, because you got the air conditioning cranked
and my sweatshirt's in the wash. I finally decided to wash it.
Hey, one thing, we got our shirts, so Deb will be sporting hers at Intuit Connect.
Donna's wearing our new T-shirts.
Let me move this down. Let me sit up a little. Yep. So I got them. Anyways, we got our shirts, so we'll be sporting those thanks to a partially paid by a kind donation from Patty
Carson.
Patty Carson. Yep.
Thank you, Patty.
We appreciate that. That helps us a lot. So now we're excited.
Oh, Teresa gets points.
Points.
Yes. Yeah. So or miles. So yeah. I hope you're coming. Well, she lives in Florida. She lives down the street practically. She never comes to visit.
All right.
Beth Ann, you're in St. Augustine, aren't you, Beth Ann? She's down the street from me too.
Yeah. Beth Ann's over in St. Augustine. So funny because I met Beth Ann after I moved from Jacksonville. Like a month after I meet her online. So I was like
well, isn't that the best thing about I think being, that's why I love going to conferences and stuff. Houses, you're gonna keep going to conferences, Yes, because that's where my friends hang out.
Yeah.
I go to see my friends. If I learn something, that's a bonus. But in fact, I met Donna in person at the last QuickBooks Connect.
And that was when we decided we were going to do stuff together. We didn't know what it was going to be. Turned out to be this stuff. We got a podcast and we got our YouTube now. So.
Oh, what's your favorite restaurant in New Smyrna Beach, Teresa? Because that's my favorite restaurant there. It's called Boston Fish House. We go there a lot.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, that's because Donna and I met on another podcast
Oh,
and with
yes.
Brad, and Brad said you have to meet Donna because your mother, you're what do they say, sisters from a different mother?
Yeah.
And I said sure. So anyway, I met her, and I thought he was right. So I met her, and I said I saw her connect. I said, "Oh, Donna." And anyway, Donna, I've always admired you. She knows this, and so I said to her, "You ever think about doing something together?" She goes, "Oh, I'd love to do that." So then nothing happened. Then finally, what did you text me about in April or something?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Do you still want to do something together?" I said, "Yeah." I thought, what happened? She goes, "Well, you kind of, what did you say? I intimidated you." I
Yes.
said, I said, "Really? I didn't realize I was that scary." So anyway,
Yeah, a little bit. Well, yeah, no, it was just like kind of imposter syndrome going on with me. We still have it, of course. But
yeah.
yeah, but I finally like reached out and, that's when I put fear aside. This is another, like, I just put fear aside and jumped off a cliff, and we are still putting fear aside and jumping off a cliff every day.
But we
So,
all do. Don't you think
yeah,
we all do that when we run our own business? I
yeah,
mean, I know today, this is the thing I hate most about this job is when you do a job for somebody and they haven't paid you. Now we're switching that around. But I had a client I went to see before, and he owed me $800, and I have called, emailed, nothing. So I said, I'm like, I pay my bills. I hate calling up to collect money. So how is the regional credit manager for Philip Morris in Manhattan? He has no problem collecting money. I go, why aren't you making the phone calls? So I thought, I said, I had to talk myself, pull up my courage and call them up. And I have to, rehearse what I'm going to say, because I'm always afraid they're going to come. Well, I think that's too much. I didn't agree to this, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, he goes, oh, I've been waiting. So I got paid today from that guy. Yahoo. So anyway, what I'm changing is that, I'm not even going to go see you until you pay the bill. Before I would go down. Now, this is a client, prospect that I would go see, and can I take a look? And I go down and see him. I kind of like doing that. I said, all right, I'll come see you, but here, pay this bill first, and then I'll come see you. I don't have a big problem with receivables, but there are some that I have, and I don't like it. So now you're going to pay in advance. Most of my clients do pay in advance, but there's those few that don't, So I know, Donna, you're real good at that.
yeah. I make sure they all pay in advance. But
Yeah,
I did
she's a
have
mess.
some issues with I was using Melio and they did some weird stuff, so I gotta find another solution. Because where I thought I was being paid, they ended up canceling them, which was fine. Everyone was fine, but there was one person that I didn't know very well. It was a project. I didn't know him very well. He could have easily got away with not paying me at all, because I
Mm-hmm.
already finished the project based on that the payment was processing, and then Melio for some reason canceled the payment. I'm not using them anymore. I'm trying to go with Anchor, so I'm trying to figure that out. That's my goal by the end of the month
Yeah,
to
in
have
fact,
that going.
did you get the
Yeah,
thing from Anchor for Connect? They're doing some Anchor
yeah,
VIP something or other.
yeah. That's pretty
And
cool. Yeah,
yeah, in fact, they're going to have pickup service at the airport. So
yeah.
watch it. I filled that out right away. And so they said, anything you want to know? I said, yes, I want to get started with you, and I need a lot of hand holding to make sure I get it right, because I'm going to start doing that because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the QuickBooks payments crapiola that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I know on the Buds channel, the Bud Slack channel, we talked about getting a rate reduction, which I did, and it came through,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know about to do it. They told me about it, which I was really grateful for.
Yeah.
But I thought, I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
just
not, and
difficult. I want it easy because,
yeah,
we need to have this needs to be the easiest part of our job is collecting our money. It's the most
yes.
important for us to live, but it should be the easiest. The hardest part should be cleaning up the messes.
And you
Yeah.
have to make it so it's easy for the customer,
Mm-hmm.
meaning if it make it difficult to pay and I know, like, I got a call from a client who, with the new invoice, she sent the invoice out. She does shutters on your window and blinds and all that stuff. So her invoices are, $4, $5, $6, $7,000. So she would send out the invoice, and she happened to put herself as as like a CC or something.
Hmm.
And right after that, she got an email from QuickBooks like, if you'd like to finance this.
Oh
She
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
I don't want clients getting that. How do I turn that off? I go, I don't know anything about that. So I look, there's a way to turn it off. But unless she had she sent herself the invoice, she never would have never known. I said, well, the good news is you're not paying the finance, but the client can, and then you still get paid. But why are they bombarding them with this stuff? I hate that. You
Yeah, they
know,
got the finance, the capital loan things. You got
oh, I get
there's
that
all
all the
kinds of
time.
stuff like going crazy behind the scenes. They go out to
Right,
our clients that we don't even see.
right,
We're not going to be able to stop it. They're going to do it. They've told us they're going to do it. You just
right,
have to talk to your clients and tell them if you have a question when you get an email from Intuit, just ask me. And
right,
that's why I coach my clients up on those things. Um,
right.
and to ask me if this is appropriate for you. They got those PCI emails going out that's scaring the crap out of people.
Now, what are those? I mean,
You know, I I don't know. All my clients are just like they're not even using QuickBooks payments, and they're getting them. So all of them are just being trashed. I don't know 100% what they're for. I can't even get an answer.
I
Um,
heard one time, I think last year they went out and somebody said into Intuit is not sending them. Somebody that got our names or something is sending it because they want to. It's kind of like, you ever start a business, I know in Florida, and you
mhm.
register with the state. All of a sudden, some official looking document comes in from Personnel Concepts that you need to get all these forms. It looks official.
Oh
And
yes,
they,
those ones.
so
Yeah,
they all, oh, I need to do this because it
yeah.
looks official. So this looks official. Um, and they
I
pay
think
it.
in this case, Intuit, and I don't know because I can't get a straight answer out of anyone, has partnered with somebody, um, some security company trying to get some revenue. I think that's what's going on. Can't get a straight answer out of anybody.
Right,
All I
right.
know is everyone I talk to over at Intuit hates those emails too.
Yeah.
But I talk to the kind of we're like the boat rowers.
I know. Okay.
So yeah.
Ignore them. Well, the problem is you get one in, then you ignore it. Like the one I saw about the increase in the merchant services with the $20 monthly
Yeah,
charge.
yeah, you ignore that one too.
Oh yeah,
Then I
like
got that $20 charge, and then I like, oh, shut
what's
that
that?
down.
Oh yeah, we sent you that. Yeah, but you sent me so. Maybe that's the idea. Yet they
Yeah, well,
bombard me
yeah,
with so much, I ignore it.
yeah, and
You know.
that's a strategy too.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get all kinds of stuff. Just most of the stuff I just ignore
Right.
because and not only does it come from Intuit, it comes from like everything else and people I don't know too. All the other
Oh
vendors
yeah.
send me stuff, plus a bunch of people who my email address has been sold to. I don't use email for my clients.
Uh huh.
I use it very little for anything I do, as much as only I absolutely need to, and I'll have 150 emails a day, and I'll keep 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest just get trashed right away.
Now, do you use like Gmail? What do you use for your
So
G?
yeah, I have Gmail. So if you have a Gmail, well, my
It's
domain name is
Google.
runs through Gmail.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of different addresses because I use for different things, but they all flow into one account.
Uh huh.
And then honestly, what I do is when I wake up in the morning, I grab my phone, I go through, and because I have it all synced, I just go and delete all the ones I for sure don't want to look at off my phone
Right.
before my feet hit the floor. So
Right.
that takes care of about 50 to 75 of them right there. And then as the day goes on, I go through and check it every once in a while, mass delete everything, and then get down to the ones that I actually need to respond on. What I
Now
do is,
here's something. Do you
yeah.
do this? I do this.
Hmm.
I look at my email in the morning and get rid of what I can, and I label a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, and if it has label, you can put in the search has colon no user label.
Hmm.
So anything that does not have a label appears. I'll scan it down. Oh, let's say that Donna's my new friend, and oh, here's from her. Let me make a Donna folder.
Yeah.
So now everything from you. But I scan down. Nope, not going to read these. Click them all. Delete.
Yep.
So then everything else is in a goes into label, and I can delete by clicking the label, delete en masse. The other thing off to the side, I only show emails that have not been read. And I have only the unreads at the top. Then once I've done that and I turn off my email, meaning I close the email window and I do not turn it back on again till like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'll not look at my email for like 3 or 4 hours. I'll go in and
Yeah.
go back in and delete the next load that came
Yeah.
in,
Right.
respond to the few that I need to respond to or take actions. I look at my email as a to-do list.
Right.
So the first to do is get rid of all the ones I don't care about or other
Right.
people's agenda that I don't care. I don't want to meet. If I met with every single person that wanted to meet with me for a quick call, I would not have
Right.
time to do anything else ever. So
Right.
all of that is done and gone immediately. And
The other thing I
then,
got, and I think I
yeah,
talked about this before, is I have that app. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. It's called Opal, OPAL.
uh-huh.
Cost me $50, which is a lot of money for me to spend.
Wow.
And but what it does is you can turn off where I noticed that, I like to play games. And the games I like to play on my phone are like this one, I forget what it's called, but I was playing it too long. So I want it where after 15 minutes, all the games shut off. And the other thing it does is I put it on where from 6 a.m. until 1 in the afternoon, I cannot look at Facebook. I can't play games. I'm totally focused on what I need to focus on. Because otherwise, Hal will sit there and I'm going to bed. I go, what are you doing? Oh, I'm playing my game. He sits there on the phone. I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, what are you doing? I'm still playing my game. I go, geez, Louise. When you say you don't
Yeah.
have any time to get stuff done because he's getting that dopamine rush
Yeah.
from playing the game.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm not doing that anymore. If I want to be able to, I'd rather read a book or, something else instead of playing the stupid games on my phone. So I got that app that will actually do it for me because I'm not disciplined enough to say.
I was gonna
play-
say I can be disciplined enough not to spend $50 for an app.
so
I just don't do it.
I try.
I don't think there's
I'm
any
not-
games on my phone.
Well, the other thing too, because I spent $50, I'm now using it.
True.
Sometimes if you spend money on something, you'll use it.
Yep.
Oh, Beth Ann has a mom folder for everything her mom sends her. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I actually have 4 folders. Well, no, I probably have 6. No, let me see. I think I have 6 folders. I have the business folder, I have the family folder, I have the client folder, and then I have the podcast folder and the Disney folder.
God, if you knew how many folders I had.
That's all I have. And then in all those folders, it's just sitting things where I need to take action on them, and then I
Right.
delete. Once the action's taken, the reply, whatever I need to do, then they're gone. Like my goal is like 0 emails to either take action on or look at any given day at the end of the day. Now, I don't reach that goal usually because there's usually something that's waiting for something. Like I'm waiting for, I had to send out a request for a payout that somebody owes me money, but they didn't pay, another referral. They didn't pay. So I'm now waiting for them to respond. So it sits there and waits until they're done. Things like that. I treat my email truly as a to-do list, and I just bucket the to-dos, and that's it. And simply feed it all through the one inbox, and it seems to work for me. I can filter out about 200 to 300 emails a day that way, and I literally trash them. That's it. They're gone. I don't save them for anything. I don't care. Once they're gone, they're gone. It's all done. And
You're better than me. I still have them. Because and I think to myself, when will I ever read
When
this?
will I
Well,
look at
one
them again?
day, But if you knew the number of folders I had, you'd be shocked.
I've seen it. It's like, wow. How do you even know what you're looking for?
They're only activated if something hits it.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking at my inbox. I have 91 unread emails, which is low for me.
Wow.
I know next I'm going to Appy Camp on Sunday. I'll be gone a week. And when I'm gone on something like that, when I go to QuickBooks Connect, I'm going to go to Reframe and Appy Camp. I do not check my email. And Teresa, she labels everything, and my inbox empties out every day. Does that mean, Teresa, you
Yes.
delete them, or they're staying in the folder red? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah. Archives. She archives.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
think
no, I
email, you
just
can just
delete.
get swamped in emails. You
Yeah.
know,
I have like four right now. One, my husband must be out buying things. Got a notice on that. And the other one LinkedIn request, another LinkedIn thing, and two are from
yeah, you to
Disney.
respond to them. I just delete them.
Oh, I accept like everyone who requests. I delete the email, but I go in at one point and just accept everyone that requests. And then
I've never gotten into LinkedIn that much. I
I'm
should. I
not
mean,
that into it. I just if they're requesting, I just you know why I do it? Because then
why?
they get a link to this to the YouTube and the podcast.
Oh, good idea.
That's it.
Yeah,
Then if they message me, which they usually message me some sort of sales pitch, and we
yeah.
have a canned message that goes back to them saying,
Mhm.
if you want to talk to me, that gets the Calendly link. If you want to
Yeah,
talk
if
to
you want
me,
to
it's
talk to me, here's
150
the link.
bucks.
Pay me. I'll pay
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk. Yeah, yeah.
Or you can, and then it has the link for the podcast or the YouTube. That's
Right,
it. It's just a canned message that like once a week we go in and just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste all of them out.
right.
And sometimes they reply back unkindly. Like I don't want to have to pay you. I'm like, well, my time's valuable. I don't know about yours.
Well, and
I
I
don't
think to myself,
respond.
if you go get your car looked at,
Hmm.
they charge you.
Yeah,
I mean, so why do they think that we wouldn't charge?
yeah,
It's kind of like when, they come in and they want the tax return done with the pile of receipts, and House says, well, the tax return is one price, and the look through the box and compile it is another price. Oh, you can't do, no. Take it home and do that yourself, because if you want me to organize it, it's going to cost you at least $6,000.
yeah.
I think we
The
should raise our.
LinkedIn ones are like it's mostly like people who are just trying to pitch their whatever, pitch their
Yeah.
products or their app or their service or I had 1,000 business coaches telling me they're awesome, and to join their free group, or whatever, or outsourcing and all kinds of stuff. So again, all I'm doing is I'm just promoting
I
this
know, like
back.
Nancy
Yeah.
McClellan, she writes a lot of good articles that show up on
Hmm.
LinkedIn. So I do enjoy reading her stuff. And so if she posts, I usually get a notice, and I go, "Oh, what's she have to say?" I tell you, she's amazing. She was reading. She's gone to Appy Camp, and she said on the WhatsApp, "Oh, I had to pull over to the side of the road and write an article." Wow,
What? Even I don't do that.
I thought she's really good. I mean,
You dictate it into your phone. Don't you
oh,
have
I
the
didn't even thought of
dictation
that.
thing? That's what I do.
She wrote it. I was like, just so I was I was like, wow, really kind of like amazed. Wow.
So long, long ago, I learned all about how to dictate stuff into your phone, and then you're able to write. Even before AI, even what was I watching? I was watching. Oh, I know what I was watching. I was watching a Taylor Swift documentary years and years ago. How she would write songs and she would talk into her phone to write them. I'm like, well, if she can do that with songs, I can do that with blog posts. And so I started doing that.
Now, okay, so you're talking to your
Uh
phone,
huh.
and then what do you do?
So then it goes on a Word doc, and
Does
then I
it
go in and edit
like
it
you
later.
translate it? Do you send it there? What do you do?
No, I bring the Word doc up and talk into my phone. It goes on a Word doc. There's other ways to do it. This is the way I do it. It's quick and clean for me.
Yeah.
So I just open up a Word doc, hit the little microphone, and start talking in there. It's not perfect, but it gets enough in there to when
Oh,
then I
okay.
can
So you're
just
not talking into a recording. You actually pull up the Word doc on your phone and start talking, which is typing out
it's
what you're
typing
saying.
everything out for me, and it's gotten
Oh,
better since like I've did it years and years and years ago, and like
yeah. I mean, everything's just amazing
yeah.
nowadays. With
There's other stuff. There's a teleprompter app that I use sometimes, but I haven't used it in a while.
God, there's
Um,
just so much. I just can't keep
yeah.
up.
And then
And I
now
really
what I do is I'll just run it through AI, and it will correct everything for me.
now, what AI do you use? I know you use Notion
I
AI.
use
Do you have
Notion
that?
AI, yep,
Okay.
to keep that stuff. So that'll correct stuff for me in there a little bit, and then I can go in and just kind of edit. Make it if I need to add some words that make it sound more human.
Right.
depending on what I'm talking about, if I need to add in some of my own sayings in there, all
Th-
those kind
This
of,
was hilarious.
yeah.
My daughter-in-law, Bunny, we call her Bunny. She calls me up, and I actually was in the bathroom, and she goes, "I need something translated to Spanish. Do you know anybody that can do that?" I go, "Yeah, I think I can do it." "I didn't know you speak Spanish." I go, "Give me a second. Send me the document. I'm on the potty."
Because where else do we look at our phones? Come on, let's get real, people.
No, I'm reading the text. So she texts me the article, which I copied from my phone in the text, pasted into Chat GPT. I said, "Please translate this into Spanish." And it came right back. I copied it and I pasted it back. It literally took seconds.
Yeah,
And she goes, "I didn't know you spoke Spanish that well." I said, "You didn't really know how good I was, did you?"
amazing.
She goes, "No, really, how'd you do that?" I go, "Chat GPT." "What's that?" Of course, she's younger than me. And I'm thinking, gee whiz. I mean, sometimes I feel like, well, I kind of do know what I'm doing. But she was amazed that I could do that with her. Now I said, now I don't know if the Spanish translation is any good, but
Yeah,
you
you
know,
might want to check with someone
you
who
might want to
knows.
check that somebody, but it looks Spanish. So,
I like
it is
Teresa's.
amazing. I used to have a
Oh,
housekeeper who was Spanish, didn't speak a word of English.
yep.
And we did Google Translate.
Yes.
And this was years ago. This was maybe over 20 years ago. So she would ask me a question in her phone and Google Translate, and I could see what she wanted. And that's how we talked. She was one of the best. I still have Cece. Cece's been with me 17 years. But Ahuhania was her name. She's from Costa Rica. She went back to Costa Rica. And she actually texted me the other day, found me on Facebook the other day. It was kind of cool. But anyway, that's how we talked, is through that. And she found me Cece, which I'm forever grateful to have Cece in my life.
Yeah, I did it once. Selling a car. We had this old truck I was selling to someone that they didn't speak English,
Hmm.
so or Spanish. They didn't speak English. I didn't speak Spanish. So we just did it all through Google Translate. Got it all done, and it was easy. It was like really nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I just amazing.
yeah.
I remember we went when I was 7. What was the New York World's Fair? 1963. I was 7 and maybe 64. I was less than 10. I was born in 56. So I was either, 7 or 8. And we went to the New York World's Fair. And we were in the line, one of the lines for the pavilions. And actually, if you're a Disney buff like Donna, that's where Disney really kind of got to start with some of the rides. Anyway, there was a video phone. And I remember my mom saying, "Gosh, look, you can talk to people and look at them while you talk to them." And of course, when Zoom came out and I Zoomed with my mom and I said, "Do you remember back when the New York World's Fair, you talked about video phones, and here we are actually doing it?" "Oh, yes, I remember that." Of course, looking at my mom on the phone, you only saw like the top of her head.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother world with moms and their phones.
Yeah.
My mom has 2 phones, and she doesn't know how to work either one of them, but she has two.
Yeah.
Well, Mom, you have 2 smartphones, and you don't know how to work either one of them.
I know. At least she tried. And I think I don't want to be that mom.
Yeah.
Of course, my son, he's getting married and he's having a baby shower on the 28th of September. "Now, Mom, you're coming to the shower, aren't you?" "Yes, but where is it?" "You accepted the invite on Facebook." I go, "Well, I can't find it." So he's trying to tell me where to go on Facebook. I said, "It's not here. It's not here." So he goes, "Mom, how old are you? I thought you knew technology." I said, "Well, they change Facebook all the time. I can't find it." "Well, I'll just text you the information."
They
I
should
said,
have
"Okay."
used the Evite.
I don't know
That
what he did.
Evite
I got
program's way
so
better.
I got where to go. So I know I'm coming back from
They're
Appy
funny.
Camp and going to his baby shower,
Oh, nice. Nice.
so that's going to be kind of fun, I guess. I'm
All
not into
right.
babies. Maybe I'll be into his baby because it's his baby. But of course, anytime I want to smile or I just want to pick me up, I Google YouTube laughing babies. I mean, they do make me smile, even though I don't want to hold them.
Oh, that's going to be interesting when that happens. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
So we had a couple more. Oh, it looks like Teresa. Teresa wrote in when we're talking about dictating into the phone, perfect for people with dyslexia. Yes, that is me. Yes. So yes, it is perfect. Technology has finally like enabled me to do things that I couldn't do when
Right.
I was a lot younger. Even though
And which business
yeah.
site do you write blogs for, Beth Ann?
Oh yeah.
You write
See
blogs
if
for
she
another
writes that
business
in
site.
there.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I get asked every once in a while to write blogs for other people. And I'm like, you know what? I have my own voice. I don't know how to write in the voice of someone else. And I don't let other people write for me because they don't write in my voice. So
I just
it's
always
just
wonder, how do you come
uncomfortable
up with
for me. You
how
know?
do you come up with the topics? I can never think of what to write about. It's like, well, write about what you like. I like everything.
Yeah, yeah, that's the other thing. Give me a prompt.
Give me a
Give me
topic and I
something.
can write about it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I remember talking to Heather Satterley at the Scaling. I said, I'd write for your thing, but you need to give me a topic. Give me a topic. Well, you can write about what interests you. Everything interests me. You don't want to
Yeah.
hear me talk about knitting, do you? You know.
I mean, I could write 1,000 blogs about 1,000 different things.
Right.
And, I read the stuff that comes out of the other apps that I use, the other industry stuff, and I just read it. And most of it doesn't even speak to me.
Right.
I read it and I'm like, this doesn't even speak to me. I don't
Well,
care.
I'm just amazed
Or
that
it's
they
just
did
like,
it. So, like, I know you send out an email every week, and yours are always good. And I go, oh man, I mean, you come up with these. I don't even think of that. I wish I could think like that.
all right.
I think
So
if I got
I
started,
sit down and go, I have an hour. And then
oh,
I start writing and something comes out of it.
wow,
Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes I think of stuff like during the week and I write it down. But most of the time, it comes out, which now I'm translating that into more of this because there's only so much like my brain will explode if I try to write and do this and do the podcast. So I'm doing more of the Sunday email is very, very short now, short
uh-huh,
thoughts, pointing people to the YouTube and the podcast for more deeper
right,
thoughts and things like that, because I can expand more in the spoken word than I can in the written word.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm a better talker.
Yeah. It just, you can get more deep into the thoughts. Plus you can have more interaction with people. It's a lot more fun. And Beth Ann wrote back Catholic. Oh, my
Women in
link's in the
business.
middle of it. Women in business. Oh,
Now, I'm
nice.
not Catholic. Can I still read your articles, Beth?
I am, and I don't think it matters.
Yeah. It won't let me link in the chat. All right. Well,
Oh, no.
we'll Google it. We'll Google your
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Hey, send me the link. Any way you can get it to me? If not, oh, I know if you can get it to me through Slack, send me that link, and I'll see where we can get it.
Cool.
Or if it's a paid thing, then we might not be able to. So, Kimberly chimed in. I like the Sunday emails. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. So, I hear back from a few people every week, but they're mostly the same people. So I've got like about 3,000 people on that email now. Used to have a lot
amazing.
more, but people drop off, and I don't promote it that much. But yeah, it's, and I'm just, do people enjoy it or not? I don't know, because nobody tells me.
I tell you.
So,
I think
yeah, I
it's
know
great.
you tell me.
Catholic women in business. I'll have to Google it.
She's gonna
Catholic.
Slack it to me, and then I'll get it somewhere. And it's a free site. Oh, neat! I'll have to check that
Cool.
out. Very cool. Yeah, very
Cool.
nice. I
All
didn't
right.
know
Well,
she
we've
did
been
that.
talking for 53 minutes. You think we should let them go back to work?
Yeah, we're good. So we're gonna be back on Thursday at. I'll set this up for everyone. I lost my thing.
And next week I'll be at Appy Camp, so I don't know if we'll be able to do it.
Oh, we can.
Okay.
We can. I'll have to teach you a little bit.
Okay.
We'll
Cool.
be able to do it. It might be at weird times because Deb's going to be doing stuff, and we'll have to work out her times when she's not like busy. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to do it while you're at Appy Camp.
Yeah, you'll have all my Appy friends. That's all of
Yeah,
our.
we could bring people in, but we're going to be next up. We're scheduled next at on Thursday the 19th. It would be 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and all the times in between, wherever you guys are located. I'll get that up as an upcoming, so you'll get notifications when we go live. You can always check in the in YouTube in the community area of our channel. It will also have it on there of when we're going to be coming live again. I try to post things in there also, and you can also comment in there also on things. So if you want to leave comments, you can also comment on this after we turn off the live. It will be uploaded shortly after. Feel free to put comments in. Feel free to please like this. Please subscribe
Like and
if
share.
you're not subscribed.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We're getting a lot more subscribers now. We do have a goal. We want to get to 500 by the end of the year. Please share it out with your friends, other colleagues, anyone you think will be interested. Please let them know we're trying to build this, and we super appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.